So I know a lot of us understand that, when people say like, "Oh, how can you be a socialist when you have an iPhone?" And we obviously know that's wrong. Um, but I do think that if you're on Hasan's level or Vaush's level or Destiny's not a socialist, but if you're on that level, can you really be a socialist and simply not really do anything with all this attention and money you're getting? I think it does come to a point where you do have to decisively put not only the money but the attention you're getting towards something real and concrete. Now, Trainwrecks used the example of charity. I don't think, but here's where I might disagree with Trainwrecks. First of all, charity is a beautiful thing. When Vaush donated and raised money to for the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, that was a great thing. Excellent. He should be applauded for that. That was a great thing. Using his platform for a good cause like that. That was a good thing. But charity is not the primary form in which I think you have socialist action. In my view, the action that Trainwrecks is talking about isn't primarily charity, but it's using your money and your influence and your attention to build real political parties and movements and fulfill real socialist political ends. And that's what you can really say about people like Hasan and Vaush. They've built a huge platform. They've raised a lot of money with which they could put towards a third party. Not a lot of people know this, but the Justice Democrats, who created AOC and many others, started out from the Young Turks. The Young Turks used their money and their platform and Kyle Kulinski to create the Justice Democrats. Are you going to do that if I get big? Yes, and this is how I'm going to explain what do I think is the appropriate order of, if you're out here calling yourself a socialist or a communist, how should you be using your money? The first thing you need is a simple reproduction, right? You need to be able to subsist. You need to be able to secure the conditions that allow you to stream in the first place. So you have to raise money to feed yourself, to clothe yourself, to shelter yourself, and have the time to stream in the first place. Then you need to use the surplus from that toward expanding your stream, expanding the extent of your viewership, because the goal is to get bigger. Eventually, you're going to reach a roadblock where you will not be able to grow any bigger because you've secured your passive media demographic. I think Hasan's reached that point. I also think Vaush has reached that point. At that point, all of the surplus money you're getting, it seems like they're just pocketing that shit and they're using it for personal reasons. In my view, when you get to that point, that's when you should start putting the money toward real life politics. So first, you fulfill the conditions that allow you to stream. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to even be able to fucking stream. And you're not going to be able to be a socialist, right? How will you broadcast your message as a socialist if you don't have enough money to support yourself? How can you continue? You're done. Your voice is silenced. And you're allowing other narratives and the mainstream media and the billionaires to have their voice dominate. That's why I kind of disagree with a lot of the people who are like, oh, you're a socialist? Then why are you collecting money? And, why are you doing this business model? Because this is a business. It's a business model. Streaming is a business. Media is a business. It's a business. It's a way of getting money, right? So it is a business. Just like the newspaper was a business for the Bolshevik Party, right? So when people say things like, oh, how could you be a socialist? Isn't it hypocritical to be doing that? I disagree with that because you need money to be a socialist. You need money to broadcast your message. You need money to reach the masses. You need money to be able to even exist and be relevant. Because the ruling class has money. So what? We should just be poor but that's not socialism. That's more like religion. That's more like some kind of religious saint or something. That's like Christianity or something. It's not socialism, right? Socialism is about winning state power on behalf of the proletarian class. Socialism is about a political class struggle and an economic class struggle to wrestle power from the ruling class and seize the state power. That's what socialism is actually about. So I disagree with when people say that, but I also don't agree with the very opposite extreme, which says that, oh, well, yeah, I could just be a millionaire passively just accumulating money and doing nothing with it as a socialist. And the reason listen, if you were just getting millions from trading on the stock market and you're calling yourself a socialist, I think you can do that and it wouldn't be hypocritical. But if you're getting your money and your brand is inherently tied to your politics, that's when I think you have to start, you should start questioning it, because it's like Hasan doesn't earn money from the stock market. Hasan doesn't earn money because he opened a business. Hasan doesn't earn money because he's like a talented businessman. Hasan earned money because he's a political media streamer. And his politics, according to him, is democratic socialism. Same with Vaush. How can these people earn all of this money just for what? To tell people to go vote for Biden? If you're a socialist, and it's so disgusting because people like Vaush and Hasan will say shit like, well, we have to vote for Biden because we have no other choice. No, you do have a choice because you yourself alone have a huge platform and a huge amount of disposable income that can go towards literally building political alternatives. It's not going to fulfill every need of that political alternative, but it's a good step in that direction. It'll definitely kickstart political projects, it's not going to be enough. You obviously need small donations, but it can start something. They definitely have enough clout and money to start something. So instead of complaining that you have no other choice, they literally have the power to create another choice. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, they act like they're not culpable, but they actually are culpable. They literally are culpable. They're actually culpable in this state of politics in America because they could be using their own big platform toward realizing their political position in reality. They can't just say, oh, reality's over there and I'm here. No, you are now responsible for reality because you have such a big platform. You can influence that reality. It is within the realm of your possibility to influence the very reality you're complaining about. So I'm not saying that they have an obligation to do charity, but if you're building your brand off calling yourself a socialist, I think people should question your socialist credentials when you're not using your brand to concretely advance socialist politics. If Vaush will claim he is ultimately advancing socialist politics because between his gynecomastia, shaking on stream, talking about how we have to vote for Biden and endorse political repression within America, after 172 steps, that somehow will help advance socialism. No, you have to concretely advance socialist politics. And that means you can't tell people to vote for Biden. You tell people to vote or to get started in building an alternative party or building some kind of alternative political platform. But but then again, even theoretically, he's wrong because he just thinks socialism is just a bunch of pencil factories, right? But at the same time, he's not gonna open up his own pencil factory. If Boston, open up your own pencil factory. That's socialism, what isn't it? Wouldn't that be socialism then? If socialism is just cooperative pencil factories, why don't you just open up your own with your money? Then you're doing socialism. You're realizing the socialist ethic in real life. Destiny was right when they were debating that. He was actually right. Destiny was right. If you're calling yourself a socialist and you're not using your influence and money to advance socialistic politics, and you're still just complaining about the political landscape, I think that is grounds for, you not to have any credentials on the matter. But yeah, so what Trainwreck said was super smart, dude, because socialism without action is just a business, Because again, streaming is a business. All media is a business. It functions as a business. You're getting money in, you're getting viewers in, you're investing that money as capital. But what's going to make or break whether it's just a business and not a vehicle for some kind of political change is whether or not you're ultimately, when you get there, not immediately, because immediately that's stupid. When you get there, you're going to use that money to actually do something. Because let me tell you what I'm doing now, right? I'm using this money. I haven't touched the money, honestly. The money you've given me, I have not touched. I've only used it to gift 100 subs. I gifted the chat 100 subs, which was $500. So I used 500 to give back. That's what I've used the money you've given me so far for. I'm not going to start using the money until I get enough for full time. When I start to get enough money in for full time, that's when I'm going to start using that money for subsistence, just so I can pay rent, pay for food, and pay for the basic necessities, right? That allow me to stream. Just pay for everything that allows me to stream the way I do. Then we're going to, after we get that and we start getting a surplus over that, we're going to use that to expand infrared. So more showrunners will be able to do things, and we'll be able to just expand infrared in general. After we expand infrared up to a certain point, that's when we're going to start doing real life politics shit, with the money. But you can't reverse it, right? There's a fanatic who doesn't think is going to be like, oh, in order to be virtuous, I have to starve and use all the money I get toward. No, you have to take care of yourself first, right? Because not everybody thinks like you do. You are special. You're a special snowflake vessel, right? Because not everyone thinks the way you do. So if you're not able to support yourself, you're just conceding the battle to your enemies who don't think like you. So the fact that you think in the unique way that you do, you should support. That's why whenever viewers tell me, what should I do? I tell them, support yourself. It's enough that you think in the unique way that you do. So just make sure you can survive. Make sure you can subsist. Secure yourself. Make sure your family's secure too, because your family's important, Do not, in history, there's a great history of people sacrificing themselves for a higher cause. Whether it's in a war or whether it's in a hunger strike. But you have to understand, that's not a long-term thing. That's just like an immediate thing. If you plan on being around in this world and fighting for what you believe in, you got to take care of yourself. You got to make sure you're going to still be around, right? Because if you're not around, who's going to fight for what? If you're not around, right, and if you're living on the streets and you're just always overworked, how are you going to be able to fight for anything, right? So take care of yourself and make sure you can survive in this world. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to, do anything. And you're not going to have any relevance, Because let me tell you what, the ruling class has it set. They can do whatever they want. They don't have to worry about anything. And their voices are going to prevail. They're going to dominate reality, You need healthy soldiers, yeah. You need healthy soldiers. You can't have this mentality of, otherwise you're just being selfish. You're just trying to feel good, better about yourself because you're more virtuous rather than actually do what's necessary to win,